My ex-wife nursed a lot, so
Mhm.
it was the youngest one that I ended up having to get up with. And
Yeah.
that's how I stumbled on Mike and Mike in the morning and just get up. She would, cause I had to bottle feed the last one and that.
Okay. Yeah, no, Molly does great. Honestly, Cody sleeps through.
Nursed a lot, so it was the young.
Sorry, it's just part of going live. So we are live now, just so you know.
Almost the night now, so
So that's good.
6 hour chunks.
All's well, all's healthy.
Yep,
Good.
great. A lot to juggle with the 4 companies, all.
I suppose it is. And this is probably the easier part when they're non-mobile and that's what I felt like.
Yeah,
I felt like it got more difficult as they started moving around on
running.
Is Kelly coming tonight?
Haven't heard otherwise.
Okay. Me either. And what happened to our Dan? Yeah. Jamie said that her meeting's just finishing up, so she should be here soon. So Carrie. She's not in tonight, she's in tomorrow night.
This was my first involvement with the middle school dance that happened, which was great. I was at work. But Louis said there were prizes and things. Do we ask parents to help out with any of that stuff?
Yes.
Um,
I know.
Are you guys sticking around or traveling?
No, I think we're
Don't-
going down.
okay. Okay.
You got family down
Yeah, yeah.
I know
Just
some
got
of
back
it
from-
was sponsored through YOBC.
Got it.
And then I think we did reach out
Good weather?
to some
A little
community
rain.
members or something. I don't
But we,
know
two
that
of our
she
kids.
has.
A few of our kids went with us.
Yeah.
And went back.
I know
and
she
forth
said
for a long
some
time.
communicates about that.
Okay.
My daughter is.
You know, we lack a PTO that would help with some of those things where, like, I wish I could have given something for it if I had been asked, because they obviously very much enjoyed all the raffling of all the prizes. Yeah. He couldn't wait to spend the gift card he won.
But from what I'm understanding, but.
Oh,
Yeah, Carol and I just got back from a quick trip down to Key West. And it was 80 and sunny every day. And then I came back here and it's like, oh, shit's staying.
yeah, we're just excited that we're like, we can use that.
Mhm.
Always really all about that
Okay.
stuff. And
Okay.
we see that.
It saved you a seat.
So, well, yeah, that there's staff that want to do it. So if they want to put the ask out, it
Yeah.
probably wouldn't hurt, because you don't know unless you
Yeah,
ask if
sure.
people are willing to
Yeah.
do anything, whether it's decorations or
Yeah.
monetary or food or. I mean, they don't need chaperones or anything like that.
I heard a really good turnout.
Good.
She had just sent a staff thing and said, if anybody interested in
Mhm.
coming out with this, and I think they had 8 or 9 staff members and
That's great.
I mean, what was it, 30 or 40 kids?
Okay,
So, I
Okay.
mean, the ratio was
good. Yeah.
really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she founded it.
Well, if they're planning another one, it would be maybe nice to
Mhm.
ask if anybody else
Yeah.
wants to help in some way. Yeah.
Let her know that, but she's always trying to do.
I did.
I know with YOBC, they have a certain.
Is there-
amount of
is it a-
funds to do like
Mm.
healthy
Piece of paper?
activities or
Okay.
whatever, so they like help with
On the way
money.
out.
I know she's done quite a few
Okay.
of the fun nights just through
Mhm,
Fill my
mhm.
real name.
So I think this was.
Yeah. You might want to put your real name down,
Sure.
as will I, when I do.
Yeah, no, Louis had a blast.
Okay.
He was like, I don't know, maybe I don't need want to go. And then I was like, why don't you have some friends for after school? And then you guys can all go together and. Yeah, no.
Love it. Worlds.
And we started, but we can't vote.
Oh, it's just did such a bonus. We could.
Yeah. We have to approve the agenda.
Right.
Hmm.
I'll give it another minute or two, hopefully if people show up, we used to.
Mhm.
Jamie will be here. She just had to stop.
All right, good. Then we'll have a quorum to approve the agenda.
She'll be here.
Right, that's good.
January. And she had to wait in line. Yeah. Another half hour.
Does this have the dates? When this is?
Here's a send emails.
This is my suggested meetings. Your meetings are on
Struggling.
5.
I'm afraid of. What's keeping next door dots? I just went back to the. District.
Do you need hard copy of this? I know I sent it out via electronic, but would it be helpful to have it printed?
Yes, because I forgot until that I was gonna ask to print it. I don't have a printer at home, so.
I emailed these,
Yep.
if you guys could get them back to me
Yeah.
before Friday so that I don't have to come in on the Christmas holiday. I appreciate
Can you even do it tonight?
it. You can do it tonight. I
Yeah.
brought my stamp just
Okay.
in case.
Yep.
Am I supposed to wait to open this?
No, I just was not trying to not lose the focus. It's diplomas and, they're so fancy and.
I know, I was supposed to wait and
No.
then I get in trouble.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bottom.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's the wrong one to sign. I'm not even reading. I'm just filling everything up. No, no, that's not it. Which one's right there? This one.
So.
Yes. For this.
Go to
You give me
slide down.
paperwork and I'm just gonna fill
Just
it
start
out.
filling it out. I suppose if Philip Bolts could really put in our dilemma.
Same. Okay, go to slide down, there's a tab that's very dots. See all these tabs here, right in the center, right here,
Yeah, there you go.
one of those first two, I can't see.
That makes sense.
Board agenda minutes? Sure.
Yep.
And that one?
That just, yeah,
Yeah.
I got you.
Thank you. You're welcome. For some reason, it wasn't letting me in. You can go out if it's not letting you, are you in? I am now. Okay, great. But it wasn't accepting my.
There, we're agendas. Where these bad?
No, they don't.
Do this at all.
They're not really computers. They're disposable electronic devices. We just go back to paper and pencil. I mean, not like this for our meeting, but for the children. We had to ban the Chromebook in our house. And I told them you can't even bring it home. We're done. No, I found him multiple times in bed with it open, asleep or awake at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, that's it, we're done.
Sorry, I thought you guys would have started.
Need a quorum.
Oh, I didn't know.
My bad, sorry guys.
The last piece of the puzzle.
My bad, I apologize, sorry.
Alright. It is 5:09. Like to call this committee of the whole meeting for Monday, December 15th, 2025 to order. At this time, I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion by Corey, seconded by Katie. All those, or any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Moving on, special appearances. Now has Mike Aldine on here, is that correct?
Not Jason, I'll be.
It is Mike Alderman.
Alderman, all right.
I sit over here corrected.
All right, Mike with workers' comp insurance, Jensen Sunquist, I take it?
Yes.
All right,
Take it away. So again, I'm Mike Alderman with Jensen Sunquist Insurance. I work with we are the current carriers for the workers' compensation insurance for the school district. First off, I want to thank the school board, Kevin, Laura, and Tiffany. I work directly with them and they work directly with Accident Fund, the current work comp provider, and you guys have done a great job working directly with them and making my job easy. Couple things, I think in your packet, you've been provided with just my initial cover letter to the school district and then a copy of the current work comp policy that will be leaving shortly. Within that, I just want to point out some of the highlights and then I'll open it up to any questions or concerns anyone has on that. First thing I want to touch on is the 2 governing class codes for the school district, excuse me, where the majority of your payroll is. State of Wisconsin did increase those a little bit. They went from a 0.38 on one of the class codes to 0.41 and $3.65 up to $3.88. That's nothing you control. That is set by the state. When they take a look at other school districts with the same class codes, and they adjust the rate accordingly. They do that every year in October. Annual premium is up when compared to last year. The primary reason for that is your modification factor. Your modification factor rate went from a 1.28 to 1.44. So what that does is all school districts have the same thing. It's a 3-year look back based on claims frequency and severity of claims. And so it's not the current year, but the prior 3 years, 22, 23, 24. And there were a couple of severe claims back in 22 that will drop off after this year. So I am expecting the mod rate to return southwards to a healthier number for the district. So if you are looking at that policy that is attached in there, you can see where that modification factor is in there. And it will show the 1.44 on that. The other thing is, so it is up slightly when compared to last year, but again, there's the mod rate and the increase from the state of Wisconsin on the class codes. Your payroll obviously fluctuates a little bit, and it works off just really the rate per 100 of payroll that you generate. The good news is, accident fund is still keeping on the 15% dividend that would be applied at the end of the policy term. So once the policy runs its cycle, an audit is completed, verifying your actual payroll, and then a 15% dividend will be paid back to the district on that dollar amount. At this point, I'll open it up to any questions any of you may have.
I believe we were trying to do a better job at what claims we were putting in. That was for this insurance, and are we doing so?
Yeah, I believe that the word and the main concern I had when this started was a frequency issue
Yeah.
on the small claims, and we have seen a downward trend in that.
Perfect.
So that has been, a welcomed sight. And going back to that 22 year, those are severe claims
Mhm.
that are causing that spike right now.
Okay.
And looking at what I've seen and based on the number of claims in the last few years, we're not through this year yet, but it looks good. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Are the claims more, or is it the same ballpark for most of the districts? Or are we
Everybody-
higher?
Everybody starts at a flat 1, meaning you're not charged for your mod rate.
Okay,
Or you're not getting, so yours is running a little bit hot right now, so it just depends on the actual district and the
Okay.
claims that they may have. So
okay,
it is just per district, yeah.
okay.
Did we account for the uptick in the budget,
Usually we do between 5 and 8% increase on these. I will tell you, in the past, before we had Mike's services, it was partly tied to our liability carrier insurance, and I don't believe we got a dividend back on that, so we didn't get a dividend. And I think the last couple of years, I want to say we were flat
Yeah,
increase, so. Right, I mean. I
yeah,
don't-
yeah, you had started out with 1.28, this is the worst, with that year dropping off, again, that's those 3 years, so. I mean, you'd have to do a look back, going before even 22 if you wanted to really pencil it out. But
Yeah.
that's correct, so.
But in terms of increases, we haven't seen substantial increases with Jensen Sunquist as opposed to our previous liability carrier, and that's why we changed in the first place. So,
I just want to make sure budget wise we were accounting for some variable in it.
Can someone, are you done?
That's all I had.
Page 26, what's the relevance of that? Any of you? There's a page 26 is cancellation request, policy release.
I will apologize to the board for that. That got scanned in when I sent the documents to Laura, and that should be disregarded.
I figured as much. I just wanted to make sure
Thank
that
you.
was the case because it's all public now.
I forgot to mention that, but yeah,
So-
there is no signatures on that document, but that was my error.
So roughly, what is the percentage or difference from last year to this year? I'm missing it somewhere.
I think the dollar figure is around 4,900.
Okay.
$4,900 increase.
Yes. Anyone have any other questions for Mike?
I guess I have a question. I don't know if it's for Mike or for admin, but what happened? A lot of small claims were being put in and they're not now.
Mhm.
What is happening with those small claims, or are they not happening? Are they being paid some other way? What's happening?
They ultimately didn't result in any payments going out, so we were like preemptively putting them in like, ooh, maybe this will turn into a claim. And then someone was seen at a doctor or whatever, and there wasn't actually anything to claim back.
Okay,
But we had already put the claim in.
so
like,
they
we
had to be processed either way.
Right, and so we've pulled back on putting those in until we're a little more sure that
Yeah,
it's
until
gonna
there was
result.
mental
Okay,
situation. So
Yeah.
we were just a little unsure on that and we kept asking Mike, like, what's going on here? And then he suggested that we don't enter those in until we have a medical situation or they have visited.
Yeah. that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, to be specific was like, so I mean, it was just automatically getting sent in
Oh,
before there was any need to actually establish the claim.
Because at that time, we believed that it had to be within any injury needed to be put in within so many hours. Otherwise, it would get denied, which we found out later that, well, that was not the truth. But that's what we were under the impression of for.
Yeah, better be safe than sorry, but
Right.
okay.
thank you.
All right, nothing else. This will get moved on to the monthly meeting for approval
And I'll
or
remove
to
that.
vote on.
I'll pull that down, take that out, rescan it, all right?
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Moving on, treasurer's report and referral.
At the end of November, we were negative 77,000. We are, as of this month, using short-term borrowing. I did more grant claims. They're always. I think, the playground loan, we have
76,
76.
76.8.
Thousand left, and then the referendum, we have 880.
Is the playground, is that the contingent? Is that everything?
Yeah, that's
okay?
more than the
So,
contingency. Yep,
if everything's good, that's however we choose.
yep, and they're gonna hold that contingency till spring, to
Okay.
assure that the grass comes in next year.
And how much are they holding?
15, I believe,
Oh, so
15,000.
So you're like 60,
Mhm.
we can look to.
And the drainage too, Katie?
They'll look at that then in the spring. We didn't opt to do
Right,
that additional drainage piece. We're just gonna leave it and watch. So
right. So
There would
that,
be-
there's enough.
there would be
there.
funds there if we needed to do something. Yep.
Did we take the paint out of that? Are we, no?
Mhm.
We take.
Paint.
Yep,
It.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yep,
I
and that
can't
was
remember
like
if we
30.
decided on that.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Thank you.
And then behind the bank reconciliations, there's, shows you where we're at with the accounts. The one that is negative, there are some purchase orders that I need to close out completely, so that should go away. And some of that goes to Title I.
We probably won't be seeing a good sized payment again until January. Or,
January, we'll start getting tax payments.
okay. Any more questions for Laura in regards to this before we send it on to the monthly? All right, let's go ahead and send it on to the monthly. On to new business. Dan,
So,
hello.
so after the last meeting, I
I called, the company that's doing the generator and he ordered it right away. So then that would have been like the 17th. So it would have been the 18th, I think I emailed him and he ordered it right away, so. So that's been about 3 weeks or so,
Mhm.
so they will see it in another 3 to 4 weeks, hopefully.
Is there any issues installing it with snow out there and winter or anything?
No, he didn't say anything.
Okay.
I figured I was gonna see if Jed's class could go out there and shovel out that corner.
Mhm.
Since it's gonna be nice, so.
Yeah.
And, I talked to Jed about building a wall. And it sounds like they might be able to do that. Maybe basically 2x6s and 10 is all it is, so two-sided 10. And because that company asked if somebody could do something like that, so sounds like so then they would just have to install it, so. Other than that is just kind of a waiting period, so. The boilers, I got a letter or an email on the 12th. And I'll read it. Just wanted to give you a quick update. We did receive the boilers last week. We currently do not have any openings until the week after Thanksgiving, which leaves us a couple weeks before Christmas, which does not give us enough time to put the new boilers in one by one before Christmas. Our game plan right now is to do the boilers after Christmas so we can make sure you guys will not be left without heating. Please let me know if you would like to push this until the spring or if you're okay with doing it after Christmas. So I said, yep, get it done as fast as you can.
Yep.
So far, I haven't really had any, I don't even want to say it.
Yep.
We had that come in a couple of times. So.
Yeah.
They're functioning properly so far. And I'm hoping that they will keep doing that until they get replaced, so. So that's where we're at on boilers. We have been having some rotten egg smell in the elementary office area down there. And it truly is a rotten egg smell, but it's not consistently all the time. It happens whenever. It'll happen one day and then maybe it'll happen another day that week or it won't happen till the next week. So I poured water and chemical down all the drains, all the traps I can find. That didn't do anything. I had Roto-Rooter out and cleaned out a couple of drains that I knew were issues. That didn't do anything. In fact, I think I made it worse, but I'm not sure. There was a cap on the roof that was right next to the air intake. And I had taken that off this fall because I was like, well, this is supposed to be open. And then we didn't have that smell for a long time. And I was like, well, it must have been it, but it wasn't because it had come back again. So I put that cap back on. So right now, Roto-Rooter said that they have a tool that can somehow measure the smell and track it. So right now it came back last week and I was just leaving. So they didn't come out that day. And then it came back another day and I called them and they weren't in the area. So we're basically, it's a wait and see. I'll call them when it happens, and if they're in the area, they'll come by. So that's kind of where we're at on that. I really have no idea where it's coming from.
Is it low or is it high, middle? Like what part of the room?
Sometimes it wafts up towards the gym hallway, but you can be just fine and all of a sudden it's like walking into a wall of odor.
Well, I'm just wondering
Sometimes
because there
it's
could be
stronger
a
than
pipe,
others.
pipes are cracked in there.
Well, that's
That's
my guess.
like
is-
inside the wall or
I don't even know,
something.
but I don't think I'm not even positive that it's a septic issue. Because it's not septic. Even Roto-Rooter said if it's rotten eggs, it's propane, but we don't have any propane.
Yeah, there's no point in this building at all.
So Dan,
The
Natural
only,
gas
the
doesn't
only
get
thing
involved.
that makes sense to me, and I'm sure it's wrong. Is that somebody in town has a propane leak on that end of town. And it goes up in a cloud and they're on that end. They're on that end somewhere and then it's pulling it in to that air handler. And then blowing it right into the office. But otherwise I have, because it doesn't make sense. If it's a septic, it's gonna be all the time consistent. You know, it might spike here and there, but it's gonna be just a consistent stink all the time. It's not gonna come and then go away and then not show up for a couple days or a week. I mean, for a while there, we had the smell and it showed for 2 weeks or more. Then all of a sudden, boom, it was there again. So it just doesn't make sense. So, but it's, I mean, if it is possible that there's a crack in a line somewhere and it's enough gas is building up and then it's releasing, but where that would be, I don't. I mean, there's lots of pipes in the school. There's lots of, so I don't know.
Some days the smell is stronger than it is other days too, so.
Yeah.
interesting.
One day I'll just gonna be, yeah, it stinks, and other days just,
You almost need a mask to go down there because it's so horrible.
well, they've opened doors and stuff
Yeah.
to try to
Try to air
get it out. So,
And that doesn't resemble, I mean, we had that problem in our office and you figured out how.
yeah, there was well. It was basically, there's a trap on their air handler, there's a trap there. But that trap is hooked to the pipe that goes to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So. Every time it flushed or if there was a backup in that bathroom, it would just suck it right into their air handler and blow it into their office. But that was consistent now. And it was basically it's just a trap for drain for the cooling system. So when it cools, you get condensation and that's all it was.
Yeah.
With just a little trap for condensation. But the trap would dry out and then they'd get sucked right into their ears. And this one has a trap and I found it and I poured water in it. I poured chemical in it. But the funny thing is, when I go up into the ceiling where the air handler is, I don't smell it up there at all.
Well, good hunting.
Yeah.
Rooter is my next option.
Yeah.
See if they can figure something out, so. I've been having a lot of toilet leaks that every time when you flush, it'll leak on top of the stem. And at first, I thought it wasn't a big deal because it was just 1 or 2 here and there. And I tightened them up. I checked the gasket and the gasket looked good. Tightening didn't do anything. Now I've noticed that there's a lot of them that are doing it, big flush. So I don't know if there's too much pressure in the system is my guess. And I'm not quite sure where, to me, that's a village thing. But I'm not sure. I have to keep working on that one.
Okay.
And it's not a lot, it's just when it flushes, it, leaks a little bit on top of the toilet. And
Just makes a mess.
it's not an issue unless you have that Northwoods thing they had here and you have 10 million people go in a bathroom over and over and over again. And
Right.
the floor starts to get wet.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to talk to the township and see if they've changed the pressure on this end of the
They did
lines or
something
anything.
different,
Yeah,
that might affect.
there might be some sort of regulator that can be put in place to help with that. But anything else for us?
Yeah, and then somebody brought up the common steps. So there's a few chips of concrete that came out of them, and that's from scraping the snow and ice off of them. I used a skid steer to back and scrape off, and pieces that broke off were probably not cured is not the right word. They probably they had air pockets behind them and they weren't the strongest. So when I scraped they just popped right off. More likely what happened.
Like how big of chunks?
There's 4 of them
Mhm.
like this,
Mhm.
and they're superficial chunks.
Yeah.
They're not, I mean, it's not structurally
Right.
affecting them at all.
Do we have the chunks? Are they lost in the snow? Okay.
I mean, you're not gluing them back.
Okay,
How long
Mike-
was that concrete poured?
that was in June. And it was hot
Mhm.
when it got poured.
I mean, it's very noticeable. I don't know if any of you have been.
Yeah,
there.
I mean, if we had the chunks, I mean, I would think the epoxy stuff could go in there, but. I mean, the only other fix would be to like make a mold and put the stuff that they fill the cracks in with.
And you can mix some concrete and
Yeah.
stick it
Patch.
on.
But cut back, otherwise it'll flake out again.
Yeah,
But I mean, they're not.
no,
gonna
it'd have to be
take-
not cement.
I
That-
mean,
that'll
more than
probably
likely, I could go out there with a hammer right now and tap on the edge and you have a few pieces break off.
Right, right.
If it's on the corner, it's on the edge, it's hard
Okay.
to, it's. I knew as soon as winter happened, there was gonna be some damage.
Mhm.
Because when it snows a lot, I have to use the bucket. I can only use the brush if it's less than 3 inches. Otherwise, if it's over that, I have to do everything with the bucket first.
Yep.
And then I can come with the brush.
Well, let's just watch it throughout the winter
What do you
and
think?
see
I mean,
what continues to happen.
How long I won't use the bucket at all
Yeah,
on the steps.
Yeah.
I'll just have to I'll have to put more salt on them then. Jeez.
it's not good for the cement either, especially in the eroded areas.
Well, given that we had cracks out there, correct?
Mhm.
After they did it, and we've also had the chips. Do we have to look at an improper installation? I mean. I don't think anyone wants to be that way, but I mean, if we paid for it and we're having issues.
And once
I
it
mean,
starts to
the
tip,
only,
it's
the
gonna
only thing
continue to chip.
if we would have sealed it,
Mhm.
I mean, we wouldn't have these issues. Well, we
They didn't
still,
seal it?
probably still the crack. I don't think it was sealed, no. Cause then that costs a lot more money. I don't believe that was in the bid.
Okay,
I don't know if you could prove that they did an improper installation.
Yeah.
You can make arguments that they should have put more frost lines in. You can make that argument,
Mhm.
but if they did it according to code, if they're in, if they're certain distance apart, which I don't know what that is, but
Aren't there like corner treads or anything that could be installed over the cement edge? That are traction control or something
maybe
anyway?
more of a trimming.
Mhm.
They'll make those tar strips, you could put tar strips on them.
Mhm. But something that would cover that front corner then. Well, we'll just, like I said, yeah, see how the rest of winter goes and then we'll figure out what we might need to do. They still work as steps for right now.
Some could say you get more traction on them.
Yeah.
A little more abrasive.
Anything else for us, Dan?
no, I think that's all I have.
I just wanted to circle back quick to the generator, the 2x6 wall. Is that, what you found out would be acceptable? Cause I think we were talking about concrete wall or something like
Well, he
that.
told me that they did one for a hospital one time and they just put in a wall, basically a stud wall with tin on it.
Okay,
Because it's basically a fire protection is what it is.
Yeah.
okay,
Your transformer, it's not really gonna blow per se, but it'll start fire and it's just basically
Just a little fire stop.
yeah, it's a steel barrier,
Mhm.
as long as there's tin on. I don't even know if you have to have tin on the. on the
It'll look nice,
generator
though.
side, but you have to have something like that. And I just thought, well, just put a block wall on there, but we can't do that now.
For
So,
winter, yeah.
okay.
But he said that that's what they did at a hospital one time when they put a generator, there was a transformer, they put a wall with a tin, basically a stud wall with tin on each side, so.
Is this an item that we have to have inspected after it's installed? Is there someone from the state that comes and looks at it?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah, okay,
But it is code, so if
right.
somebody happened to see it, they'd be like, well, you
Mhm.
don't have no protection here.
Is it electrical code or? I mean, whose code would it fall
Well-
under?
Good question.
All other state.
Is there like a
The one company
generator
that was
code?
giving us a bid,
Mhm.
the guy that came out, he's the one who told me.
Right.
And he's actually sent it to me, the actual code,
Yeah,
and I think it is electrical.
okay,
And cause he said, no, most people don't know this.
yeah,
Not only that, but it has, and then. I don't remember what the distance is, if it's 4 feet
Mhm.
on each side. So it's close.
Okay.
We have enough room, but it's close. Cause if it would have been, if those transformers would have been over a little farther, then we couldn't put it in there.
well, good deal.
But for my measurements, it looks like it'll fit right in there.
Okay,
My only concern with that is that it is open underneath and they're supposed to pour a concrete slab to sit it on top of. So I don't quite know how they plan on doing that.
In the winter.
Are they gonna pour one or are they gonna bring one that's already?
I think they have to buy a fabricated one, set it in and. Adhere it somehow, either bolt it in or what, but
it'll be interesting to see how they do it.
Is there any issue with having students do it? Like, this is labor that the school would have to have done.
no, I don't think so.
Okay,
I know he even asked me if the kids could, cause the kids are just basically building the wall. And it's just they would
right,
give them.
somebody would have to put one, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
he'll buy the materials. And then tell them this is how you have to do it.
Mhm.
And if they, as long as they do it the way he said, then they'll just drill holes and mount it in there, so.
Better than just making a pretend wall in their classroom. They get a real world.
I agree with that. I just, I have
Yeah.
a friend that's a tech ed teacher that there was an issue one time with kids building something for the school because it was labor.
Mhm.
So,
I see.
it was
Hmm.
a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember what they had been asked to build for that
Okay.
class.
So I'm not sure, I don't. One of those things.
I mean, I think
Nobody
it's a
says
real,
anything.
real problem experience, so I don't.
Yeah,
But I can see where you wouldn't want them to be forced to remodel all the bathrooms or, yeah, child labor laws.
Webster does the Habitat House.
Right, they build and sell the items off for,
I mean, they have kids doing
Mhm.
it, so.
Mhm.
I mean,
But I think-
but it's not like
I
an
think they
improvement to
get
the school building.
paid.
Right,
Students don't get paid, but.
right.
Yeah.
Program.
Yeah,
Well, no, my point is that the school would have to pay somebody to do it if they weren't,
yeah.
but yet they're doing it.
Yeah.
and, Like, if they sign up for SHOP, are they saying, why are we doing these school projects when, does this fit into a curriculum area, which?
Maybe we should add that into their, you guys get to do some fixing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Should have a class that we have.
Real world experience.
I'm not opposed to it, I just don't want the SHOP program to get in.
I understand.
I mean, usually questions like that, I check with our liability carrier. Sometimes we do things like that, and they can probably give us an answer.
Mhm.
I could do that, let's do that and see.
All right. Anyone have anything else for Dan? Thank you for coming, sir. Appreciate it.
Dan.
Happy hunting. Twenty 26 delegate.
So Katie, are you a current?
Well, so this delegate piece, I did go to it last year. It is different than the one that happens in January at the school board convention.
So
They-
the thing
they are
is,
two
we've
separate
chosen the
things.
Same person to do it. There's
Yes.
one that goes to
Yeah.
CISA and there's one that goes to the school board.
And I
convention.
just, last year when I went, I didn't know what I was going to. But it is just a meeting to elect the representatives to the CISA board.
Yes.
In your group of people, you elect a person that will be the representative and actually attend the meetings. And then they pick like a second, third, fourth, however many people are in the group, where your district would then step up and fill that position if something were to happen to that person. So I think there's definitely a lot of really great information that are going to be shared at the meetings. There's $100 stipend for those. I believe they are monthly. They can be attended to virtually, I think. So it's a really good opportunity. And if we were to step in and actually be on the board as a district, I think we'd get a lot of really great information.
And we've always just selected somebody like that
Mhm.
to serve in that role.
Does
That
it-
was you before, right?
Yes, I went last year.
Does
Yep.
it cost anything for us to?
No.
To do?
No, it does not cost us anything.
When is it?
Can I open this? It'll be in January. I haven't gotten a date because I don't know if they carry over.
Are they
Same
at-
people? Yes.
At Turtle Lake or?
Well, the election is at Turtle Lake.
That'd be the doom and gloom, but 5 out of the 6 of us are up for reelection this year, so I think that leaves one that's for sure.
So Tuesday,
Yeah, I saw you look at me.
Tuesday, January 20th at 7 PM. So if someone is very interested, I mean, like I said, right, as of right now, we have never been the actual representative onto the group. We have always just sat somewhere we could, as a district, step in if something were to happen. And it's like 7 people or so that are elected as groups.
And you feel it's a beneficial thing to have somebody.
Well, it would, if someone was interested in actually being on that group and asking to be the representative of the 3 or 4 districts that you're lumped together as districts. So each district has a representative, each district group has a representative on the board. So if there was somebody that was willing to do that, I would say send them. Otherwise, any one of us could go and you're just going to do the votes for whomever else is in your district group.
So we've always nominated a delegate.
Mhm.
Sometimes they haven't attended. And I know one year our delegate was Mark, your grandfather, and he went to the delegate convention and
They're separate though, because
he
I,
served in both, like I
Yes.
have served.
so there's another part where we can have a delegate where when we go to the state convention, where the amendments that are put forth for
Yes.
WASB as
Yes.
opposed to CISA, and you're part of that group. So the same person
You
makes
served
their,
in both roles.
I did,
That's
yeah.
typically what we've done in our district,
Right.
have that person serve in both.
yeah,
I misspoke, there's 4 of us up for reelection, honestly.
Yeah.
So at least you'll see.
but both of the things would happen before the election. Yep. So if someone,
That's the WASB.
Yeah. Yes, this one is for CIS. Well, that's the WASB. You're right. This is the WASB one that I'm holding here.
But like I said, it made sense for us to have the same person serve.
Yeah. So this whole packet is the one that's happening at the school board convention. But we're not sending anyone to the convention this year, but we still have the ability to elect a person that can have their. I don't know how the votes happen. I didn't go to it, even though I was elected the person, I didn't go to the actual delegation portion because I attended presentations instead during that time period.
And how many meetings are there for this CISA thing?
This one is, the CISA, I believe, is a monthly meeting. This is WASB and this
Yeah, I
is
know.
just the one-time,
Right.
the one-time piece.
And that can, typically you do not get to see set, because you're in there all day typically.
Correct. This one, if you went to the convention, you'd be in this all day and you wouldn't be able to see the presentations. So this is, again, it's just like a name on a piece of paper. So
Right.
it says
We
that,
just need to select someone,
yeah, so it says that our,
and we do it annually.
Yeah.
And you served the last time.
yes.
Is this something you're looking at serving again?
It does not matter for this because we won't do anything. Again, if someone is very interested and wants to like delve into state level school board stuff, this is the place for you to be on either one of these groups. So I can do it again this year, but none of us are going to the convention, but I can have my name there as the name. Unless someone else would like to.
But that's separate. We still need to do something for the CISA.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, that one will come later, but it does happen in the winter. I mean, it was cold when I went to that.
So the January 20, whatever on
Yeah.
Tuesday, is that CISA or
No,
that?
that's, sorry, it's the WASB.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry. I took, when I looked at it, I just,
Okay.
So
I
do
was
you-
thinking it
But
was.
the same person usually does both.
Yeah, it doesn't have to.
No, it doesn't have to,
No.
but it just makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, if someone had a burning desire to look at state level policies among school board, this would be it, and the other one is more regional.
I would be interested if nobody else is, or I shouldn't even say interested. I would be willing to do the CISA one.
Mhm.
I am not interested in the WASB one. I am, not a fan of their bias.
Mhm.
So,
Okay.
All right, well, we'll put that. We can take nominations and put that to vote at the monthly meeting
Okay.
as to who the delegate will be. Or delegates.
Mhm.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Mhm.
Youth coordinator, Corey.
So this has been tabled for a little while. Dylan Getzky? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
He reached out, he wants to do the youth coordinator position on a volunteer basis. And so I wanted to bring it back to the board
Mhm.
before anything happened. I don't even know if we have like a description of what needs to be done.
No, and he came to me as well and sent me a couple of text messages, and I told him he could absolutely do it at a volunteer basis, and he
Yep.
doesn't need the school to be involved in any of it.
Right.
So I just wanted to bring it up because I didn't know if there was any action.
I told him,
that we
yeah.
Needed to take.
No, I told him to go forward and he could do anything as of right now until a future position potentially gets figured out.
Yeah, cause technically
The-
it doesn't fall under the school.
No, the only thing I could see where the school involvement could potentially be would be the FIAD teachers coming in and opening up the rooms and saying, here's the youth stuff.
Mhm.
If there is anything that doesn't actually belong to the school that has been tucked in there, though, I think at this point, like things like basketball, they've just been utilizing stuff. I know like youth baseball, I think almost all that equipment that may be, or football is at Karsten's that might have been bought as a group. Though I think they've purchased things personally as well that have gone towards the programs. So I think that would be the only place where the school would come in to say, here's the stuff that you can have, house it, or we'll house it in a little corner or whatever it might be.
That was all I had.
Has
All
there
right,
been any more discussion with Webster School District?
Very, very on and off on my fault. But there has been conversation.
Thought I'd question that since it's on now. Again, looking at-
thought when I talked to Dylan that the Webster AD or Chaz or somebody had said that that was between the superintendents at this point. No?
No.
I think it was maybe more like the school boards, because Chaz is on. the
Boards
school
were
board.
talking, we were trying to figure out how to mirror a position between, or share a position between the two schools, but nothing has really come forward from that, other than it's a need, but we don't know how or what it would look like, because we don't have funding and they don't have funding, and yeah.
And it's not a position we've had before.
Mhm.
But we do know if we had funds for it, we could fund it,
Well, and
because Luck funds it under their.
it could go
Yeah.
through
We
Fund
don't have
80,
funding for it.
and we wouldn't have to take Fund 80 money out of our budget to fund it. It would be levied automatically off of the taxpayers. And we're talking minimal, like $5,000 to $10,000. It would be a very small amount per what the research is of the
Just
areas
no-
around us. Yes,
We talked about that. We went through all
Yep.
that before.
Yep.
And
yeah, so
prepared to do that. There was
Right.
no decision made, and then Geske wasn't a part of that at the time.
Yeah.
He just said, we need one, but I'm not interested. So
Right.
him volunteering now is new,
Mhm.
or new from the last time we'd done it, but
And youth basketball information has gone out, but it came through Ustagoff, not through him. For boys, at least, I
in
think
my
girls were
opinion,
already
in the
on
past,
stuff.
didn't the coaches kind of do a lot of that?
For at least the basketball,
Basketball.
but not for the other sports.
Basketball, football,
They do it for spring volleyball, they had, it just depends on the money and the year, and volleyball may be questionable this spring, because we're.
Since he's still
almost-
gonna do spring league.
but yes, it's basically been on the head coaches to spur on the youth programs.
But not
thus far.
actually part of their contract in
Right.
writing.
Right.
It's been out of the goodness of their hearts.
Or the future of their teams.
Yes.
however you look
I
at it.
can't say one way or another, because I've never actually seen the contract, and my understanding is it was. Like a strong, like emphasized, I feel like it would be something that potentially could have been in writing, but I've never actually seen. a Contract to see if they were ever in writing. I don't really understand why it wouldn't be in writing, because you can't have a high school program if you're not gonna develop a youth program, but.
I agree, and I thought that when Ryan was here one time, he said it was a part of that.
It's always
It's
been a
been
gray.
expected, but
You can't technically have it part of school because it's not governed by school, because it's not school sanctioned sport.
It's a community sport.
Yeah.
because that's one of the things like with the basketball, they've gone under, was it Great Northwestern and a couple of different leagues through the years, and it's just basically been left up to the coach's discretion. And if the school were to officially sign off on it, we'd probably have to pick which one we're going with. But
We probably have to pay insurance, we probably have to pay,
yeah,
it turns into a real money situation, and I think the board's talked about that several times through the last year and a half, 2 years, that if youth sports are gonna be a school funded thing, then we'd have to make sure that we take care of all the other situations.
Yeah.
it's glad to hear somebody's interested though. Yeah. I don't know, I would suggest maybe Dylan talk to the coaches also and see if they'd be interested in him taking more of a coordinator role on those things, helping them alleviate a little bit, and could go from there as well.
Yeah, I hope he at least, communicate with the current coaches
Yeah,
about it, try to work together.
all right. Policy 832. Weapons on school premises.
So you had mentioned that I bring this back with other districts, and I did solicit other districts. I did get policies on that. I did modify to a degree whatever the needs were that resembled the other districts, and then I shared it with Jamie so that it would correspond with the current handbook language, and I believe you're comfortable with the way it is right now?
We didn't find anything that seemed contradictory.
No, it looked good.
All right. After looking over it myself, I'm comfortable with moving it on to the monthly meeting unless anyone else wants to have discussion in regards to it.
I read it as well, I didn't have any concerns with it.
Okay. So we'll move that on. We vote at the monthly meeting. Report card, Jamie Campbell.
So our 24-25 DPI state report cards have been publicly released. Dak usually isn't Carrie Herman, but she's out, so I am sharing some highlights. First, in the fall, Carrie and I went to the CISA principals meeting. And they told us point blank, there are report card scoring changes this year. No scale adjustment formula being used this year. And think of this year, or this report card as a baseline year. We are moving forward this year as a new year with a new report card, and do not compare your scores to last year. We still compare our scores to last year, because I don't know what else you would do with them, but so some things from Carrie, our district assessment coordinator. Our target groups don't count as our groups are too small, and if they desegregate the data, you may be able to identify students. Because of our high population of economically disadvantaged students, growth is the priority and weighted more, while achievement is weighted less. Although I will note that our achievement weight increased dramatically this year from previous years. So we're not exactly sure why. Couple of things. Our graduation rate is higher than the state average and has been increasing over the last 3 years. So we're very happy about that. Our achievement score is trending up over the last 3 years. And that's good because, as I mentioned, the weighted priority area for achievement went from 5% to 11.3% as a district, and even higher for the high school specifically. Our district economically disadvantaged reduced a lot from 71.4 to 55.3. We're really not sure how or why. It honestly seems like an error because it's a big drop.
Is that based on like the paperwork that families are filling out at the beginning of the year?
I believe so. So that's what we were
The
wondering.
free and reduced lunch.
Yeah, so we're wondering if people haven't been
Filling it out, because since we already get free and reduced lunch, is it harder for Tiffany to collect those forms from people?
It might be, but it's my understanding that we really still do need.
I think we still need to have that as part of it.
I just think that.
I know, I think
Probably an error.
I wonder if they change the parameters.
They do that all the time. They change nuances in this card.
And they
all the
don't,
time without telling you.
do they give us the definitions for each of those
No.
levels?
No. and
Is
that's
there
the
a way to
problem. This is a
find-
Political tool.
Yeah,
And that number is not a percentage. So when you're looking
Oh.
at it, it's not like, hey, you guys are scoring 60%.
Like,
It was
60% of
never
kids are
designed to be a percentage.
yeah. And there's not a way
I
to,
go on DPI all the time.
there's not a way to find the definitions for each?
It's very ambiguous in
Okay.
terms of, and even
And
the
it
weighted
changes
areas, how
every
they
year.
change
Yep.
from year to year, from
Progress.
district to district.
Yeah,
They're not explained on how that happens.
Yeah.
like this year it shows Shell Lake has higher economically disadvantaged than us. And I just find that to be absolutely not possible, so.
Okay.
And one of the things that changed too,
I'm
that
curious.
when I spent so much time on this, looking at it, the weighted aren't the same for each of the schools.
No.
But like
Try to
we're weighted
compare
on
district.
growth here. And the school the same size as us is rated on growth at a different number, so I can't figure out how the numbers ever, I truly
Yeah, it's
can't
really
figure it out.
random.
Now that we are a free lunch district, do our parents still fill out those forms?
They're supposed to.
No, I don't think all of them do. I think
Yeah.
we have.
Because I think that's where that number.
I think we have.
Yeah.
to-
Well,
Yeah.
and honestly, that worries me because if we're not getting it filled.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we're also gonna.
But it's a paper-
From that.
Doesn't Tiffany
Yeah.
have this data though? Like, doesn't she keep track of percentage of how?
Direct.
Yeah, she does.
But some of that grant information is also those that automatically qualify for food subsidies, so there's part of that, like, those kids are already,
No, I
Leave-
understand, but I mean,
take
if we
somewhere.
keep track of like, oh, this year I got
Whatever.
Oh,
a
percentage.
no.
120 back and
Sure.
last year I got 80 back. Like, does she have a, I think she should.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, isn't that easy, something you just go ask her, like
Yeah, we
what
can talk to
percent
her
of
about that.
families or how many of these forms do you get back?
Yeah. And it was at,
They could just have said, well, we're gonna use this number instead this year,
Yeah.
because I feel like they do that every year with the
Yeah.
report card. Like last year, they said the scores were higher than expected or higher than something, and so then they use some different
I
formula.
wanna say, I don't think I ever fill it out, cause most of our forms are online and that's something you
But
get at open house.
it
with
was-
Another bunch of paperwork that's hit or miss if you need it.
yeah,
Yeah,
And so I think it's just the way.
Betsy
we don't
was
know,
doing a
nothing is mailed.
fantastic
We don't
job
Mail anything
trying to
out.
get
It's-
those filled out.
If you're at open house, you get it. If you're not at open house, I don't know, maybe it comes home with your kid.
yeah, and we've been doing that with some of the other forms. So yeah, we can follow up with Tiffany and find out because I am honestly a little worried about that, like with getting free lunch and stuff.
Right, well, because when you look at some of the other numbers such as disabled, that still stayed relatively the same number that it was
Yes,
the
our
last.
student
2
groups
years.
were pretty much the same across the board except.
So that's
for
why it's like-
disadvantaged.
Either the parameters changed or maybe there wasn't a thing reported correctly because.
Yeah. Not sure about that.
And last year, they also said that that was a baseline report.
I know.
And not
feel like they
compare,
tell us
'cause-
that every
Yeah,
year.
I'm
they
like,
changed it from last year to this year. They changed it before last year and now they're.
Yeah, and then this year when I was reading, I didn't see that, and I saw that they put things side by side, and I don't know why they would have put them side by side if that was the case.
Yeah, they did this whole big scale adjustment formula last year, whatever, for whatever reason, and I don't really know, and I remember, I went to the whole day at CESA and I still couldn't really tell you, but they did some big scale adjustment thing to the scores last year, and so that's why they were saying that last year. This year, they're saying this is like our all new cut scores or whatever, so I don't know, I just know that they change it all the time. It doesn't. Well, we have kind of looked at, the last few years, even though they told us not to, but. Elementary, a couple of things that they are doing, at the PLC meetings, they're analyzing forward exam questions, especially for ELA. Because that's kind of where scores have needed to be increased. Looking at overarching themes of the standards, such as being able to summarize regardless of the content area, writing and speaking in complete sentences, and looking at the differences in CKLA from the second edition, what we have, to the third edition, which came out over the summer. Talked about phonological awareness and phonics and what programs we are using to supplement what isn't being taught in CKLA, and that the teachers are feeling more and more proficient getting through more of the CKLA units. The middle high school, some of the things that we've been doing are 6th through 12th grade. And elementary does use the tool, also have been focusing on data from forward exams, because supposedly a lot of the data for these score and achievement things is from forward exams, especially at the elementary and middle school levels. And then they don't do as much at high school. They have pre-ACT and ACT. So CESA does a big spreadsheet where we can download all of our test data and put it in there, and then we can access every standard at each grade level on the forward exam and see how our kids do. So our PLC teams have been working to analyze that and then compare it to our curriculum in our PLC process. This year we did implement with our core teachers that if we need to pause, retest, and reassess unit assessments as a whole group, if 80% of our students are not scoring 70% or higher. So we're doing a lot of reteaching and retesting on units before moving on. We've implemented middle school advisory this year, interventions for both ELA and math, which are based on FastBridge scores, which are done 3 times a year. And then we're continuing our high school CERT advisory, which is also given 3 times per year, aiming to increase pre-ACT, and ACT scores, and then giving us kind of an overall baseline of how well our students are doing academically. So we look at the data, we do compare the data, even if they tell us not to. We try to look at trends, things like that, but we do look a lot at our actual forward exams, and then ACTs, and then pre-ACTs, and then our local FastBridge and CERT testing too on a regular basis.
I've talked to a couple other different schools, and the school board people, and they're looking primarily at the growth scores.
See, that's
Well,
been,
and
that's
that's
been
the
told
thing.
to us different years too. When this first started, growth was the main factor you're supposed to focus on because that really tells you how your kids are doing. And then other years they change it from growth to like attendance rates.
Yep,
So
achievement.
I agree with you, but I'm not sure if we're getting all the right information on that.
Well,
And
that and like,
Because our growth score is the one that dropped.
so yes, but our achievement increased. So as your achievement increases, you would expect your growth to drop because
Okay.
there's less
That makes
dis-
sense.
discrepancies.
That makes sense.
I guess. So our achievement over the last 3 years has gone up quite dramatically, actually. So that's something we want to see, which I'm glad that our score didn't drop very much because we went overall from 5% achievement to 11.3% achievement this year in our total overall district score. And at the high school, we went from 5% to 15% achievement. So that's a pretty substantial jump
Mhm.
looking from, so our growth went down. Our growth used to be 45% of our overall score. And this, like for high school this year, it was 34.8%. So that's a considerable change. And then the other thing, like John was saying, we were looking at all the area schools trying to compare things. Well, if you look at every one of the area schools, their pie that shows the priority area weights between achievement, growth, target group, and on track to graduation are all different. And so some of them have the achievement is being scored at 15% for the district, 22.5%, 19.7, 11.5, 11.3, and 11.1. So even just in the 6 schools around us, every school has a different weighted area and in the whole total score. So I don't know, it's like comparing apples to oranges at that point. The other thing is even in your target group outcomes, they're not looking at the same things. Some of them have attendance and some of them
Right.
have graduation,
Right.
like for different districts. And so I don't really know why they're doing it that way, but it.
But you said
does-
our target groups are too small anyway.
Yeah, that's what Carrie had on there. So I'm not sure if that's maybe, but like we still have target group outcomes, so. no.
So if these numbers are gonna, or the formulas are gonna continue to ebb and flow,
Yeah,
are we okay going? We have students graduating at a really good percentage, and that's, I mean, I don't wanna say that's the only overall marker, but I mean, is that something that we're able to at least base a little bit of our own personal achievement off of? Like, we are still
Yeah.
getting students.
we're very,
to-
very excited
to be
about
able- yeah.
that piece, because I mean, that's pretty huge. It's kind of like our ultimate goal, I
Right,
think, is getting
right.
kids graduated successfully.
Graduation rate.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that's huge, and that's been our number one goal since we got into these
Right.
roles, was increasing it, because it was worse even before. And then coming out of COVID, you know, it was really rough for a while, so we're happy to see that. And we definitely look at like year to year where our achievement is, and like, is ELA higher or
Mhm.
lower than math? And, you know, what can we do to focus in on those pieces, and how can we improve? I mean, we still look at it as, you know,
Right.
valuable data.
Absolutely. I mean, there's still information that has to come with it, because you could just go through the courses and get the
Yeah.
graduation. So making sure that you're actually getting to the target mark that you need to in each of those subject areas.
Yeah,
But overall, I feel like we should still feel pretty good.
Yeah.
Regardless of how these numbers are, we don't know what the formulas are and whatnot, that we know we have students that are graduating.
Yeah.
And
yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
And, you know, I think we're doing pretty good. Yes, could we do better? Probably, but we also have, you know, some of the highest rates of students with disabilities. We are one of the highest economically disadvantaged. We are by far the highest, you know, school in the area that has minority students. So all of those factors play into, you know, the correlation between higher scores and success. And so I think everything that we're doing is helping our kids in this district, because they are graduating at a high rate.
I have a couple of questions. Well, first of all, a concern in that state and the new reading program.
Act 20.
Yes, Act 20. And it says so many percentage of your students or whatever, every student who's under whatever level, we have to have a plan and a program for.
Mhm.
That 3rd grade reading was at 29.2. That means a whole lot of our 3rd graders are going to have to be on that reading plan. And that is going to need to take a huge amount of time and effort to figure out how that's going to work for us. And I don't know who is looking at that or how hard they're looking at that right now, but that is very big.
Becky Whitland is working on that.
Mhm.
She's kind of been spearheading the Act 20 pieces with Carrie down in the elementary. They went through last year. And because we had to do pieces of it last year, so they went through and started writing in the spring some of the personal reading plans for the kiddos that needed it.
Are you
This
looking at
year.
that, Jamie?
No, I'm
Okay.
wondering where you got that. number.
yeah, the 20, I'm,
The
I'm-
29.2%, it
I'm-
says 3rd grade reading,
She's got a different page, Katie.
24, 25, I'm on page 7 of 11.
oh, okay. Yeah, that's not what we have.
No, this is right off of the DPI
Right.
light is where I took it.
Well, I
And
have
it's
49.
Yeah, because I have it here, third grade English language, and it's 49.3.
at the circle things. Yeah, I'm looking at the bottom of this.
That's the same thing on track to graduation, so that's explaining it. That's so weird.
You've got it on the bottom of your page where it says 99.2. That's where I'm reading.
But why would that be
Why does
different
it-
from the on track to graduation, third
I
grade?
don't know,
English?
and that's what I'm asking. And if that is going to
I don't
be,
know.
if
That's
the
not a
faculty
question.
is based on that number,
Yeah,
that's a huge
I
problem.
Well,
don't know if it is or not.
Which one of those two numbers? That's the question I have.
and are those percentages?
This
They
is
don't-
listed as a percentage.
Okay, because
They aren't all.
the 49.3 is not a percentage, so if it's scored in a percentage, does that 49.3 go down to that 29 number compared to the score?
Well, that's my assumption is
Okay.
this is a percentage that is not.
Got it.
So, and I think percentages are easier to understand than a
Yeah.
random number.
Yeah.
Which is why it jumped out at me. And then the other thing, this is just a question. Industry-based credentials, it has, our district has 0%. The state is 5.5, but yet last year, 23-24, we had 3.6. How did we go from 3.6 to 0 under industry recognized credentials? What were we doing
I
differently?
think that might have been the,
And it said that 5 students last year earned the industry recognized credential.
Your,
I
our
think that
dual
might have been the dual
certification thing.
certification from Renee.
Yeah,
Okay,
I would think that
Or
would be
because Heather
that.
was doing it through her
Heather's still
hospitality
doing the same
piece.
stuff though. so
Heather
it
just
hasn't
didn't
changed at all.
Right.
But is it
Years.
is the number of, is it students that have earned it?
okay,
It said
it
that.
said 3.6%.
Percent?
And then it had it broke down to 5 students. And then this year it says 0%.
Mhm.
And then it says no students earned it.
Which-
And then under work-based learning, it says 2 students participated in work-based learning,
And that's,
which honestly, I think we should be doing a lot more of than that, but
but that's the hospitality and the welding program are the two that we currently have, right? That they
Yeah,
can
we still
earn
have those.
degree
Those
level.
haven't changed, so I'm assuming that has to be the Microsoft
The Finance Academy.
Financial
pieces.
Academy
Mhm.
piece
Mhm.
from Renee.
Okay.
so last year, nobody earned the hospitality and welding, even though we still offer them.
I don't think
Is that
that
what you're saying?
counts, I don't think that counts for this.
Okay, there's specific certifications they're looking for.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think this is just
Mhm.
that
Okay.
one that Renee has the financial accounting. It would be my assumption. Don't quote me on that,
No,
because I'm
that's-
not really sure, but
Mhm.
if I have to hit it,
I get
I
it's
would
confusing.
say that it had to have been that. I mean, like I said, they don't really tell you. what
They don't.
Any of these are like, and I don't even know if they would, like, work-based learning, we have a lot of kids in work-based learning, so I don't really know where they got this 1.7 and 2 students, because we have a lot more students than 2 students.
Oh,
that are
unless
Work-based
they're-
learning, lots.
unless their employer reported. Cause that could be a possibility that the employee or employer has to report that they're doing
It's
something.
possible.
Maybe
We need
something
to look
like
into
that.
that because we have a
no
whole pile
idea.
of kids that are doing
where
it.
they
That's why I'm
get
like,
that.
it doesn't make sense to me.
But
Is that, Heather's CT program?
That could be too.
She still had way more than 2 kids. She had half a dozen.
That are
had
earning the
taken
certificate in the
tests.
end? Because we have the ability to earn certificates while in school and the ability of the students that are leaving school at the end of the day to go to their work place.
yeah.
Two
they
separate
are
programs.
different Things.
Mhm.
And so maybe that's like the youth apprentice specific one or something. It could be that.
We did have a youth apprentice last year. Was it last year, 2 years ago now?
This would have been 24, 25. So it could be the difference
Could be the youth
between
apprenticeship,
youth
yeah.
apprentice and work study. There's a difference. So maybe this one is only the youth apprentice. I don't know. But it
Mhm.
is nice that our dual enrollment was 43.8% and the state's was only 26.6. 53 students completed at least one dual enrollment course. So those are the college courses.
Yes.
So we're
Well
almost
above.
double the
Yeah.
state.
And we only offer 2 programs where other
Well,
larger
there's
schools
a
may
lot more
offer.
courses.
Yes.
Those are just courses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it would be really nice to see more of our kids getting industry recognized credentials, whether that's independent learning with somebody that is supervising that, if that counts. I have brought up multiple times, to many different people, having a class for high school students to get their CDA to work in childcare, in licensed centers. And they can take that independently, but what we would
Like, we
need,
have kids
it would be
doing
nice if the
CNA.
school was getting credit for it.
to figure
This is the child development one.
That wouldn't require one of
And-
our teachers to become certified through one of the colleges,
No, it wouldn't.
Online.
No, it wouldn't.
just online.
I don't
And then-
know if you would get credit for that, because I
Okay.
feel like this is, your teachers
Okay.
are qualified through
To-
the
yeah.
university.
So
And
like
in order to
Judd
be-
and Heather.
Well, Heather is qualified to teach child development classes.
Yeah, but
So
it's not
he
a
would fall
full
under that.
program, so I don't know.
Okay.
It's not in her hospitality program.
I mean, it is a huge shortage area in the entire state of Wisconsin. And if we could get kids interested in it and we could help out, Ketchikan and get some people in there doing their some work study stuff, it would be so beneficial. And there's 2 Head Starts in the district besides, that could potentially benefit from it, not as much as a child care center would. But it would be really nice if we could figure out some of those, like they have the welding certificate, if we could have the CDA certificate and the CNA. I mean, all of those things look very positive in the community and public's eye, that we are training our kids and not just doing college-based.
And we have a lot more that go, I think, into like healthcare options that way, like doing the CNA course and then working
Which is
at
awesome.
some of the local,
We actually have
homes and
kids that
things like
work, we
that.
have kids
Yeah.
that are working, leaving school half days and working at the daycare that you just mentioned.
Yeah, that's
So, I
awesome.
mean, we already
That
have
works
those,
there.
but we don't have
Right,
the
but we don't
classes.
have their.
Which would be really cool if we could get those certifications, but we do have kids that are leaving and doing that work at this time, so.
Yeah, those are my only questions on it right now. Like I've looked at 5 different districts and I find that kind of data very interesting, so I'm weird like that, but and trying to figure out how we can improve those scores because they are being looked at. We do have people in public saying, look at Frederick's, compared to ours, it's huge. The differences are huge, and maybe if we could really get on DPI about making them more specific in what they're looking at. So they know that, our graduation rate is, instead of this number, when somebody says, oh, this is a 61, and oh, that's a 78. I mean, the discrepancy in what looks like student learning without all the other factors added in is huge.
According to the lady from Shell Lake who had really high scores, she said that the achievement increasing over a few years is a lagging indicator of success to come, so sounded
And it's funny,
promising.
that was one of the ones I didn't look at with Shelley's because. I don't
And
know
did
about
I
that.
not read over, like, of the star rating? I mean, if
Yeah.
thinking general public, that's probably some of the
Yeah.
area they're gonna hone into. Of the 400 and some districts, it was like 50 that got one way or the other. Like we are right in there with
Right.
everyone in the state, whether that's good or bad. There were very few districts at either end of the spectrum.
The number, like Polly said, though, is what sucks, because when you start really digging into it, people are taking that number and they're trying to say apples to apples.
Yeah.
Yeah, but,
And they're not. And when you spend some time looking at it, and people don't have the time to look at it, so we really have to make sure that we're educating people in this meeting where we have lots of people watching.
Mhm.
Make sure that we are educating in other meetings so that we can make sure people understand. And everyone can always go to the DPI website and actually read what's on there.
Oh, yeah.
And take your time, and when you start doing that, you start realizing that you're not really comparing apples to apples. And that, you have to take your time and your effort to do that. But when you do, you start looking at it and going, hey, where we're sitting with the kids that we have here and the different situations, we're doing okay. Our graduation rate keeps going up, our attendance keeps getting better. It's easy to look at the number and be frustrated. When you start looking at some of the other things, that the positives that are mixed into this, And again, taking the time to actually look at it's real important.
And that third grade reading score, I bring that up knowing that we could have had a very low achieving class, which is also cyclic. And you can have, I mean, we could have a third grade class next year that reads like superstars. We don't know what it is. So you can't compare 29% this year to 53 some random year because it's
Absolutely.
the makeup of the class. So
I do know
I
that.
get that, but it's still, it's hard to look at them and to have people bring them up when it's not a very clear picture at all. It's pretty murky.
It really is.
Well, the one things I'll say is, I mean, the graduation rates going up are great, the attendance going up are great. Mathematics holding out strong is great to see. I think the board has expressed issues with low numbers in regards to the ELA, in previous years. And, in fact, we were wondering if the curriculum we bought into, might not have actually been working. And I don't know if it's because of Act 20 coming about and having to do these reading interventions and basically knuckling down, so to speak, and having to really address the issue, potentially
When we
helping
have
this
to,
out
it
more.
hasn't even taken effect yet.
But we have been doing the plans for all the kids. I know
Yeah.
for sure third grade. I can't speak for any other grade,
Right.
but I can
They are.
guarantee you that they're
Yeah,
doing third
but
grade.
it's not like full of.
And
No,
No,
we
but
started a year ago, they work within their PLCs.
Right, and they
talk about
actually,
that on a
every kid
regular
that,
basis.
and there's dates, certain dates after you do the testing that those things have to be sent out. And there's several things, like I said, I can't speak for the whole
Right.
elementary, but I can tell you for sure, the third grade says, when Jill got home at midnight that night, or because they had to be out, then I know for sure they're doing them.
Yeah.
And that class was who she had last year, so she had a pile of them that she had to do, so.
I guess I'm just saying, would love to see a year where we have some good reading improvement instead of it's gonna work, it's gonna be fine, we're gonna make it, it's, it's just taking a while to learn this, because we've heard that for too many years in a row.
Well, or can we hear directly from the teachers, instead of basing it off of these state tests and these numbers? Can we get a statement from our teachers saying, we've taught this now for a couple of years, I really do think that it's working, I'm seeing improvements in my kids, or I'm not. I mean, that's where it counts, is if they're the ones that are actually making it work and seeing it, and not what these standardized tests are spitting out.
Right, and just remember, all research says new curriculum is looking at 3 to 5 years for improvement. So we are probably at what, like year 3 on DKLA? So we, in the next 2 years, should either start to see gains, or then we would reevaluate, if we reach the 5-year mark and we're not seeing gains, or even, at year 4, we're not starting to see gains, then yes, maybe that's something that we would look at. But if you abandon in the middle of that process, then you're never gonna really truly know if it was effective or not. And like with the new Act 20 stuff, there's only a few ELA curriculums that are allowed to be used.
And ours-
And CKLA is one of the approved programs by the state or whatever. So, I mean, I have to feel like it is good, and it's what's used in most other districts around as well, and has been, I think, for longer than here. And from my understanding, my understanding is that teachers in other districts that have been using it for a long time speak very highly of it. So.
Right, and I'm not saying that it's a bad curriculum, I'm not saying, but the problem is it doesn't matter how fancy of a tool you get, if you don't know how to use it the right way or don't know how to implement it the right way, it doesn't matter. So, if the teachers are having issues, or if they're not fully being able to get on board with certain things, because we have ran into those issues of, I've taught this way for so many years and I'm just gonna do the way that I've always done it. It doesn't matter how good the program is if staff isn't on board.
Yep, and I can tell you that we've seen it at the middle high school, and we're seeing a lot of change now, so.
Okay,
promising.
Well, and every time you start a new curriculum, and I feel, I know I've heard it, here where, you know, we've started this new math curriculum, so the first year the scores are lower and they're gonna get better. My concern with that is, are kids losing learning time by jumping hook, line, and sinker into a program without slowly integrating that with some of their own tried and true? So I know what you're saying about changing, but I also know that it's pretty hard. You know, school starts, you're starting a new curriculum, you don't know that curriculum yet, you had some real success with something, and you're not allowed to do that anymore. I mean, it seems like there has to be some give and take and a little transitional time to be able to do that, because then, you know, when we went to that last new math one, however many years ago, we really, really focused on math, and our math scores went up and our English scores went down.
Absolutely.
And now we got a new English curriculum and our math scores are going down. Compared, so it's a game, it's a balancing act, and I worry about the kids falling into that. That's hard, so it's gotta be we know this works, we know, you know, somebody who's been teaching kindergarten and saying, my kids' math over this year was amazing. And now we have this new curriculum and they're not, or in third grade or whatever grade that would occur in, there's gotta be you don't just learn a new curriculum. I mean, it takes a long time to practice a new curriculum. You don't just read about it and start implementing, because it's different.
I mean, I think Carrie's done a good job of professional development along with those curriculums to have the teachers teach us how to use a curriculum. I mean, that's one of the things we purchased and been heavy with, and
Is there anything that can go with the parents to help with at home? I mean,
well, that was the
my-
other thing.
my kid doesn't bring anything home for
So-
either math or CKLA to do at home.
Several years ago, we had, our scores went up significantly and we exceeded expectations. There was a manipulation on the
I
report
remember
card,
that
but
year.
I asked several of our elementary teachers, what was the difference? Why do you feel we did? She said the parental involvement was much greater that year.
Cause right now it feels like a lot of it is, well, you
Yeah.
could play these math games at home and
Yeah,
you can read at home, but it's not like a specific, like, we're doing this section right now on whatever it is. Here are the specific things that you can do to follow along with some of these curriculums at home. And I don't know if they have, I know there's a pushback for doing homework. But maybe there's a balance somewhere of allowing the parents to know what's going on so that they can incorporate it in everyday life of whatever they're
Right.
doing too.
Something to check into.
Mhm.
Anyway, thank you for bringing that. It's like I said, it's interesting, and at least to me, I know it's not interesting.
anyone have anything else for Jamie in regards to the report card? Okay. At this time, I'm looking for a motion for us to convene the closed session under Wisconsin State Statute 19.851 CEFG to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility, considerations of financial, medical, social, or personal information, and to confer with legal counsel who is rendering oral or written advice.
I'll make that motion.
Second it.
We have a motion by Corey, seconded by Katie. The items to be discussed are student transportation, special exceptions, which could potentially fall under section F. And proposals and acceptance procedures for positions, which would also fall under F and possibly B or C as well. Any discussion before we take the vote? Corey, take the vote, please.
Polly,
Yes.
Corey, yes, Katie.
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Amy,
Yes.
1 second, please.